Welcome back, everyone, to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and today we're going to be talking about Orion Protocol. Now, I know I just spoke about them 10 days ago or so, and I hope the video was helpful and informative. There's some reason we're talking about it again. Number one, it's one I've been following closely because I'm excited about what they're doing. And I hope after watching that video, if you were interested and you informed yourself more and decided it was for you, that you were able to make some good buys while they retraced a little bit. Because they have absolutely blasted off again this morning. Now, why are we talking about Orion Protocol? Well, there's some big news related to them that we want to talk about today, and a big announcement, which is, I think, only part of the reason it's blasting off today, because I really think they're on to some very good ideas that can make our lives as investors simpler on multiple fronts. As you probably know, buying in crypto is like the wild, wild west. Not as crazy as it was in 2017, but it's not easy yet. Really, if you think about it, you're interested in a token, you could need as many as like 10 to 12 different exchange logins to be able to buy, whatever token you're interested in. And even then, it might be on an exchange that you don't have. Now, Uniswap has solved that in some ways if it's an ERC20 token. However, Uniswap fees are so high right now, it's absolutely crazy. And so it really, unless you're buying thousands of dollars worth of stuff, the transaction fees are so high, it doesn't always make sense. So, let's talk a little bit about Orion Protocol. Now, their ticker symbol is ORN. Now, if you missed the video prior to this, I do go in further into my thoughts on it, and I give you a good breakdown on their token supply and what I'm thinking overall that I liked about it. So check out that video if you want to see more on them. Real quick summary. They're going to be a gateway to the entire crypto market, aggregating every centralized exchange and decentralized exchange and swap pool into one decentralized platform. Sounds good, right? Imagine like you have one login for things and you can have access to everything out there. And so in some ways, they're kind of like Robinhood. And I know Robinhood, a lot of people are hating on right now. They did solve some problems. As to some decisions they made recently, yeah, rightfully it's costing them, right? So as far as the problems that they solved, which was great, was allowing everybody to easier get access to buying and trading stocks, as well as making it much cheaper. Because I remember 20 years ago trading on E-Trade and paying like $10 to $14 per trade. And so Robinhood really made your access to stocks and also options and trading easier, as well as brought the fees down. Enter Orion, which is their vision and goal, is giving us access to all those different things, but just buying it in the one place while reducing fees and by still making plenty of money themselves. They have 16 revenue streams, or up until today, 16 revenue streams. But their announcement today is yet another revenue stream where they can make money while also making our lives much easier. So that had my attention. And so I saw that they were partnering with another project that I follow really closely and absolutely love, and that's DAO. So let's go over to the announcement, and I'll give it some context. So if you come to their Twitter, Orion Protocol, and you follow it, you can get updates on their project. Now, if you see, I'm following it here, and this is my Twitter. So at Crypto Rain. Now, there are two N's on there. Before I got it, somebody took Crypto Rain with one N. Gah! Darn them. All right. So, coming over to the actual announcement itself, Orion Protocol announces DAO is the first partner of new solution, the Orion Launchpad liquidity. What is that all about? So a little bit of context and history. Many of you are around in 2017 and 2018, but some of you weren't. So one of the ways that projects raised funds to really be able to fund the vision of what they wanted to accomplish was that they held an initial coin offering, or an ICO. However, in 2018, 2019, the U.S.'s Securities and Exchange Commission decided sometimes people were offering a security through that to the public, and in order to protect United States citizens, it was going to drop the hammer on those that possibly were offering us security. And so, two things happened. Number one, everyone said, no selling to U.S. investors, because they didn't want the risk of that, at least in their initial coin offerings. And the second way is they came up with other ways to get their tokens on the market without doing initial coin offering, because there are many other countries that decided they were going to protect their citizens too, because there's so many scam projects. Which there are, but they were also protecting you from sick gains that you could have got by investing in good projects, and they figured you probably weren't smart enough to figure out for yourself what to invest in. Don't you love it when your government's protecting you from getting sick gains and becoming rich? Yeah, love them for that. Anyway, so they always do things to protect us, right? Well, the nature of government, yeah, I get, and there are some things they're trying to protect us from, but what if the free market could solve some of those problems? So one of the problems was there were some scam ICOs, and they were right to be concerned, the Securities and Exchange Commission, because back in 2017, anyone could create like a white paper and they could create a nice website, hold an ICO, and they'd get $40 million thrown at them. All right, so let's talk about today how things are happening. Now, one of the big scams going on is that a big project that's raised a lot of, they've invested in getting their name out there, and they've done some good marketing, so people are excited for them, and they know they're going to be listing on Uniswap. Well, scammers create a fake website that sometimes leads to a fake pairing on Uniswap, or they just create a pairing on Uniswap with a token that looks similar to one they really want to get, and so they scam people out of some money that way. Now, what if there were some better solutions? What if, well, there have been some market solutions coming in to address this. Enter the Launchpads. So there have been some great Launchpads that have come around in the last 6 months, and these Launchpads are like pools. One of my favorite, DAO, also Polka Starter, as well as some other projects out there that are entering into this market because it's so hot. And the tokens for these have done absolutely phenomenal because there's a need there. And what they do is they do some screening on some of the projects that come to apply with them. And they do, they interview them pretty thoroughly because they realize, these Launchpads, that if they take on projects that don't do well at all, it hurts their reputation. So they're incentivized to do really good screening, so they're only incubating good projects. Otherwise, the reputation is at risk. Secondly, they create some pre-sales and other ways that investors can buy some tokens before things are then listed on Uniswap or somewhere else. And so investors have an incentive to be involved with that Launchpad and be able to get some of these pre-sales so they can get pre-token offering prices. Fantastic, right? Well, one of the problems is, even if these Launchpads did a great job and got the name of the project out there, and there's plenty of marketing and plenty of hype, and people are very excited for that token to be listed, say, on Uniswap, it doesn't stop the pairing problem, that fake pairings would come up and people would spend some money on a token that really is just a fake. And so they're getting scammed out of some of their dollars. So Orion was thinking about their solutions they have for this, and they thought, you know what, with all of our solutions and our things, what if we could help these Launchpads, instead of competing with them and creating our own Launchpad, we could help them solve a problem. That what if we, instead of helping the project launch on, say, Uniswap, we could help that project do their initial token offerings after the pre-sales on our platform to help protect against fake pairings, and then we take the incubator and we help the incubators so that their process is not only smoother but cheaper for their investors, possibly reducing their gas fees, because right now most of these platforms use Ethereum and the Ethereum chain. So if you're trying to send $400, sometimes you'll spend $50 in gas fees, which can be really frustrating, right? Essentially, you're paying a 12% tax. So I love this solution. Now, I will link this in down below so that you can read more about it. Basically, Orion Protocol is first doing this with DAO, which is one of the incubators with the best track record. They have done phenomenal. and they have taken many projects to 100x plus. I don't know if it's 4 or 5 or 6. Some of the biggest projects that have come out in the last 6 months were launched on Duck, and so Base, as well as boy, I can't think of all the different names right now. The one with the NFTs, yeah, I bought some NFTs and then I got some of their tokens for it. Anyway, they had some pre-sales through Duck, and there are many great projects that have. So let me share with you a little bit about Duck in case you're interested in some of these pre-sales. Their process is a little bit smoother and a little bit easier. They have 2 different processes. In order to get involved in the pre-sales, you have to buy and hold DDIM tokens. And then if you go to their Telegram, in fact, go to their website and get their Telegram, you can get access to instructions on how to do that. I'm not going to go into that too much now, but go to their website, and then you want to get on Telegram. They do tons through Telegram. So essentially with 10 DDIM, you can get in the smallest pool, and I realize that's $1,000. And that's the smallest pool available to you for pre-sales. And then they give you access to some pre-sales. Now, some of those pre-sales have gone 100x. So even if you get a small allocation and it's the $100 to $400 range, if it goes 100x, are you really mad? If it goes 50x, are you really mad? So you bought $100 worth and it goes 50x and you turn that into $5,000. Really? Not bad, right? So DuckDAO is definitely one to follow. If you haven't followed them on Twitter and figured out how to use their Launchpad, I like it the best of the different Launchpads. Now, there's many out there, Polka Starter, Fuse, and some others. Theirs is just, not that these processes are simple, theirs is one of the best, and my guess is with this, it will get even simpler. While we're talking about DuckDAO, I want to tell you about one other way to get involved, and it's not quite pre-sales. It's more like getting in on an ICO, although it's a totally different process. So if you buy and hold Duck tokens, you can stake them on the website. So this is their main website. And then you come to Duck Starter. I'm just going to click it here. Now, how do you always get to the website? Let me tell you, the way I usually get to the websites is I come first to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, and I click to it here. That way I don't ever get to a scam site, right? So then you can come here and you come to Duck Starter. Now, Duck Starter will tell you, oh, DuckDAO, Token, Sale, Launchpad, 2 upcoming projects, Shadows, and Vortex DeFi. Now, whitelist is open. Register now. You can whitelist and get things in there. Let me show you what this looks like if you click on your account. Now, I just use one of my wallets. This isn't my main one. I do have 2,000 ducks staked. Why? Because I want access to these. So, now when you do stake them, if you can remove them at any time, but if you do remove them in less than 10 days from when you last staked some on there, 30% loss on your duck tokens. So only stake them if you're planning to hold it for over 90 days. Over 90 days, you can withdraw at any time with 0% loss. Makes sense? And that's from your last stake. So say you wanted to get in the bronze pool and you put 2,000 ducks in there, and then later you're like, I want a bigger allocation, so I'm going to get 3,000 more ducks, and then you stake them. It resets your timer, right? So something to think about. Now, you will have to KYC. Unfortunately, the U.S. and I'm not sure if there's other countries, they are, trying to protect themselves from the SEC, who is supposedly trying to protect U.S. citizens from making mad, sick gains. Oh, so helpful, aren't they? Well, it just is what it is. So if you go through this KYC, you can put, scan in your passport and go through their processes to get KYC so that you can get into these. Now, how this Duck Starter works is when something comes out, just before it's then launched on, say, Uniswap, is they give you access to be able to buy it up to a certain allocation depending on what your pool is, and these things sell out fast. But in order to even be eligible, you have to have a certain amount of ducks to put yourself in a certain pool. All right. Now, it is relatively new. They haven't actually done one of these yet that you could actually fund, so it's not perfectly clear exactly how that process will work. I do know that their DDIM process works very well and smoothly, and the team at DuckDAO do a fantastic job. All right, guys, so back to ORN. Let's talk a little bit about price action. So since it was been trading on Binance, here's kind of the numbers that came out with some big fanfare. And like most things, it retraced during November. And then December got some an interesting pop. But then it settled down here at a heck of a deal at $2. Then has absolutely gone, not quite parabolic, but getting there, especially after this announcement today. My guess is it's going to look something like this. So, I mean, this is kind of a cup and handle, the big side on that side, but then it's taking off. More, this is a parabolic run with some retracement. Now, what I think this might look like is at some point it's then going to cool off and trade sideways again before then running up some more. If they hit their vision, and it seems like they're making the right partnerships, they're taking the right steps to be able to get enough traction that people start using them. And if people start using them, well, then things go better and better and better for them from there. Kind of like Binance. Now, Binance was had a late start versus Bittrex and Bitfinex, and Binance came in there, made a lot of smart decisions. I'm really a big fan of CZ. The guy is an utter genius and has great team members there. They're completely tied into the crypto space, and they've continued to change and evolve and make themselves relevant. So good job, CZ and team. You guys are amazing. Orion seems to have a really good team, and they're making some good things happen, and they're positioned well with a product that we all want and need, which is one login so that you can trade everything. Because I don't know about you, but I get tired of having to send things to different exchanges, and then it just gets messy. If there was just one exchange that I could do all my trading and then send it back and store it in a cold storage wallet, that's what I'm looking for. Not having to deal with multiple exchanges, because some are listed on Qcoin and some are Binance, but that's exactly what we have to do now. So one of your next questions is, if you don't have ORN, where can you buy it, right? So let's come here, and so this is exactly how I look at where to buy it. So that you don't have to ask me, you can easily find out for yourself. First, you put in their ticker symbol here, go to Orion Protocol. Instead of the overview that it defaults to, you click on markets, and you see all of them here. Now, if I'm going to do any trading on Uniswap, I click right on the link here. That way I don't end up getting the wrong ORN ever. I link to it from here, and I've never missed on Uniswap with buying the wrong token. Does that make sense? All right. So it's on Qcoin, it's on Hotbit, Binance. If you don't have logins to Binance or Qcoin, I do have some referral links down below. If you get your Binance login using that, it'll actually give you 10% of your own fees back. So it does give us an option when creating a referral link to put the slider bar to as much as 10% going back to you. So I went, max it out, back to you guys, so it can help you out. Why not get 10% of your own fees back, right? So then it gives the referrer only 10%, which is totally fine with me. Great, that's gravy. If it would let me give you 20% back, I would have capped at just 10%. All right, guys, so that's ORN. Where do I think this can go in the long term? Well, that has everything to do with what its market cap is. The market cap is currently at 168 million. Max supply at 100 million tokens, and right now only 1/5 of their tokens are in circulating supply, and every month more of these are released into circulation. That's okay. It's got a lot of room to grow. Even if 100% of their tokens were out there, that's what this fully diluted valuation means. 818 million seems to me, if they hit their vision, that this could be a 50 to 100 billion dollar market cap. So it's got a lot of room to grow, even if all their supply came into circulation, which it's step laddered, and it's going to take a while for all of their team tokens and other things to come into supply. So it would seem during this bull run to me, my best guess for myself, I'm not your financial advisor, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just an investor myself, and I'm just walking you through the decisions that I make and why I make them. And so I'm looking at this hoping that it hits a 50 billion to 100 billion market cap. Do I think that's possible? Absolutely. Do I think it's probable? Well, it depends on how good the team is at hitting their vision. I'm seeing them taking a lot of the right steps now that have me excited about the future for them. All right, guys, I hope that's helpful. Thank you to all you who have subscribed. As you know, if you watch the channel, I created this channel because I wasn't getting responses from the developer teams quickly when I was just an investor myself, and I realized that I need to find a way to add valuable content to you so that together we can grow a channel that has a lot of subscribers so that I can reach out to the team and not only get my questions answered, but bring them on for AMAs and other things where I can have them answer your questions. And Orion Protocol is one of the ones I want to talk to. In fact, I have reached out to them and I'm waiting to hear back. I have not heard back from Timothea Horwell. So if you know her, would you tell her to direct message me back? Now, she's their CMO, and apparently she seems like she's a beautiful woman, and I get it on Twitter. She probably even has her direct messages turned off if she hasn't already followed you because, you know, pretty women, and we're in such a geeky environment that she probably gets all kinds of crazy messages. So Timothea, I'd love to hear back from you. It is at Crypto Rain with 2 N's. I'm not trying to flirt with you. I have an absolutely gorgeous wife that's way better looking than me. Why she married me? Well, I have some ideas why she married me, but it wasn't because of money, because at the time I was completely broke. And she did have millionaires flirting with her because she is gorgeous. And somehow I attracted her to me. Long story. Maybe we'll talk about it sometime. With that said, guys, thank you. All the likes really help blast this out to more people so they can get exposure. All the subscriptions help us so that we can hear back from people like Timothea, who very smart. I watched some videos and AMAs by her. She is very sharp, and I would love to have her on this channel. Thank you, everyone, for helping me on that vision. All right, guys, we'll see you soon.